Welcome back to Remade in California, where we talk about everything from the economy to education. This episode, we're staying up on the technology curve. Joining us now is psychiatrist Dr. Gayane De Silva. Gayane, why do we fight learning new technology?
You know, Pat, whenever we're afraid of something or something new, our human nature is to avoid that which we don't know about. So I think that people end up fighting technology because they get really nervous about it or fearful about it, and then avoid it instead of trying to get educated.
And certainly part of that is that there's just so much happening.
Oh, the rate of technology is so fast.
You learn to ride a bike once and then you're done.
Right.
That's not true with technology.
No, it's changing so fast. I mean, you know, the iPhone comes out 1 month and then 3 months later there's a whole new iPhone with a new operating system on it. And so how do we keep track of all of that technology? It just moves so fast.
And as a psychiatrist, explain to me the difference between fear and anxiety. Well, I feel like they're the same, but they're different.
You know, people do use it interchangeably, but it's very different. Anxiety is a biological response. It's a feeling that comes up. You can't really change anxiety. You can modify it, you can learn to deal with it, but it's something that comes up. You can't really control it. But fear is a choice. We have anxiety, and then we can choose to be fearful about that anxiety, or we can choose to use that anxiety to get educated, to motivate us to move forward, to learn new things, or to learn how to manage that anxiety. Maybe we need to get more still and relax, or we need to get educated.
What are some of the steps?
Well, the first step to do...
My daughter just told me to find some new information on Rhapsody.
What's Rhapsody?
Well, I know what Rhapsody is, but it's getting me there. So just as a pretend version, walk me through.
So the first step would be to identify what you're feeling.
Okay.
So when your daughter says, find me something on Rhapsody.
Right.
And you say, what is that?
Right.
You can identify, am I anxious about it? Or am I anxious and then I've generated a fear response and then an avoidance response? We don't want to do that. So we accept our feeling of anxiety first. We identify anxiety, then we accept it. And then we figure out, we think for a second and say, what are we going to do? What am I going to do about this anxiety? Am I going to let it hold me back from moving forward? Am I going to tell my daughter, you're on your own, I'm not going to help you? Or are you going to say, you know what, I know how to take care of things that I don't know about.
Is that an option to tell my daughter she's on her own? Oh, God.
It's an option. I wouldn't recommend
it's an option.
For your relationship with your daughter, or for you.
Right.
But you can say, you know what, I don't know about Rhapsody.
But I think it's a good point that you have, you do, as you go into these technological onslaughts, I love what you're saying about stepping back and really seeing what your choices are, which one choice would be to not do it.
Right, one choice is not to do it and to avoid it.
So accept where you are.
Yes. Yeah. The other choice is to educate yourself,
right.
Where the California community colleges, of course, are so accessible and have classes on anything you'd want to learn and about technology. It's a great place to go.
Yep.
I actually had a family member who came to America from Sri Lanka who didn't really know much about Word, any of these operating systems that we use all the time. And so he spent the first 6 months of his life in America learning technology before he even applied for a job.
Wow. And he did that at community college?
He did that at community colleges. And he did that in his, 50s maybe, 50s, 60s.
Well, we talk about that, people coming to some of these things later in life.
Yeah.
So kind of accepting the fear, then what's
Then identifying your next step. You make a choice of how you're going to address that fear or anxiety.
Right.
And then moving forward and doing something about it.
So action.
Action.
Basically.
Yeah. And then feel good and have confidence and then move forward.
Does everybody need everything that comes along? What's your feeling about that?
Well, not necessarily, but if you're not educated about what is out there and what the technology is, how are you supposed to make an informed choice about what is appropriate for you and what works for you in your business or your personal life?
Yeah. Well, Dr. De Silva, thank you for joining us.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Fascinating stuff. For more information about Dr. Gayane De Silva, visit lagunapsych.com. For more information on jobs in digital arts and other tech communities, go to California's Community College's website, careerpathwaysca.com. Up next, today's cybersecurity jumps in jobs in the law enforcement fields.